My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is, if getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
And welcome to the brand new rebranding of our podcast, The Cocktail Lounge. I'm Aggie, your hostess with the mostest, and with me is my wonderful co-host, Brad. How are you?
I'm doing well on this side of the bar. I'm getting ready to sling some hooch for all the listeners and get ready to dispense with our magic elixirs, because we are basically, let's face it, the dipsologists at KLRN. We are the
This is
experts.
True. This is true. This is true. This is what we do. It's our gift.
It is. It is.
It's not a curse. It's a gift.
We spread good cheer and we raise everybody's spirits. Literally.
As we dispense it.
Mm-hmm. So how's everything on your side? Are you getting in holiday mode?
I'm starting to. I wasn't going to decorate very much this year simply because I'm going home for the holidays and because I have a new dog and my dog has no idea what boundaries are, specifically the Christmas tree boundary. So I'm just doing some light decorating, the mantle and the smaller trees, but nothing big this year, unfortunately. But even so, it's still looking nice. So
well, you do live in Texas, so I think maybe the most appropriate thing to do would be to build a Yuletide wall.
True.
Since this is going to be Trump's last Christmas, it seems, maybe go out in style.
True. I should build a wall and put a lot of Christmas lights on it. The big old bulb lights, those big old-fashioned lights that you can see from space.
Exactly.
Go all Griswold on the wall. That'd be great.
We don't want your type around our tree.
I'm sorry. I've had coquito, so now everything's funny. So
hey,
I got that.
Well, guess what I'm having tonight?
What?
I am drinking coquito myself out of a tiki stemware as we speak.
See, this is tiki and coquito bringing people together.
Exactly. Since my adorable co-host finally posted the recipe over the weekend, I went out and got the supplies, and I whipped up a batch of my own. I made a few little modifications to it, but for the most part, it is damn divine. This stuff is good. So
it is, and I am blessed because I'm one of the few people in my family that likes coconut flavor. So my mom makes great coquito, but she doesn't drink it. So she'll make like a huge enough batch to fill maybe 10 rum bottles.
Wow.
And then she'll just, when she makes it, she uses a stock pot. Okay, a 20-quart stock pot for this stuff. And so she, when she makes it, it's like, and like I said, she'll actually go out and get the coconuts and scrape the meat out and shred that and then boil it, and she goes through the whole thing.
No. See, I'm Caucasian. I don't have time for all that. Come on.
No, well, I'm Puerto Rican. I don't have time for that, and I just do the canned stuff. But she goes all out. But now she wants me to start bringing it because she's gotten to the age where she's like, yeah, I don't want to mess with that stuff at all. So so that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing is taking a couple of bottles down there. But she used to make all of that and then distribute it throughout the neighborhood or gift it to people where my dad works, but she never drank it. And it was the most annoying thing that she would make all of this stuff and she would never, because she doesn't like the taste of coconut, which blows my mind. I don't understand that at all.
I'm not going to judge out loud, so.
I understand why some people don't like coconut, but I don't understand why Puerto Ricans wouldn't like coconut. I mean, it's literally our thing. So that's why I was like, okay, Mom, whatever.
No, this the batch I made up was actually quite perfect. I kicked in a little bit extra rum than called for, and then I even added rum chata, and it came out ideal. Chilled it for about 3 hours, took the first sip, and I was just, I didn't blink for like half an hour. I was like, damn, that's good. So
I should try rum chata in it next time. I've actually added Bailey's to it, and it's pretty good with Bailey's. It's really good with amaretto. I was surprised because I didn't think that amaretto would really go well with it. I'd like to try it with Frangelico, but I'm not sure if the Frangelico would actually go with it because that's hazelnut. So
yeah, that doesn't seem like that would fit as well.
But I was very pleasantly surprised that it went well with Bailey's. I was very, very pleasantly surprised. As in, I was shit-faced.
Well, it sounds a little bit like my weekend. We had our, not to rub it in everybody's face, but I know, a lot of parts of the country are in lockdown and can't do stuff. So if they could live vicarious through me, that's my dream. But, basically in Florida here, we're freed up for the most part, at least, as long as you act with some common sense. So I mean, we get everybody together and we're doing stuff on a regular basis. So last weekend we did our annual party that we, for all the kids, we do a Polar Express party at the in-laws' house. They've got a 3D television, and they crank their AC up in the morning, so it's about 55 degrees when we show up. And usually have some gifts for the kids. Like last year, I think we gave them all the big fuzzy socks to wear, but this year we handed out like holiday blankets for all the kids, and they all curl up on the sofa and watch with 3D glasses on. And sister-in-law makes a big Dutch oven pot full of hot chocolate for everybody, and I get tasked with modifying it for the adults. So brought some chocolate vodka with me. They had Bailey's, and I did that up for the hot chocolate. It came out rather well.
Ooh, that does sound good.
And then just for myself, I got experimental, and I did one with the Bailey's and some Malibu rum, so it was more of like an Almond Joy hot chocolate, and that was quite good as well.
You know, ironically, I don't like Almond Joy. I know, I like coconut, I like chocolate, but I don't. I prefer Mount Simply because they don't have almonds in it.
Well, I mean, this is more, or maybe more like a Mounds, but
okay.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because, you know, once the adults were getting lubricated and the kids were getting a little active and not paying much attention, we just started doing Mystery Science Theater for the whole second half of the film.
Oh, well, that's perfect. I enjoyed the Polar Express. I thought it was really fun, and I loved I watched the making of it, and I was just fascinated by how it was done. I thought it was really cool. And I thought the story was really cute too.
We basically made that into kind of a goofy little family tradition. Now we've been doing it for a while, and this coming weekend we got our other tradition where we get all of the extended family gathers up in Orlando. We have like a miniature family reunion. So we got crowd coming in from the west coast of Florida, some coming down from Georgia, and we all occupy about 4 or 5 hotel suites and take over the patio area and stuff. We have our fun, but I think I might need it because I've had a little bit of a tough week with the holiday shopping here. So
please, most guys just do it online. Women are the ones that go out and, you know, battle people and cut each other and whatnot. So
no. It hasn't been anything that dramatic. It's been, you have to understand, like I've got this reputation of being a good gift giver. You know, it's not me bragging, but people like,
I will admit that the gifts that you have given me have been beyond optimal. So yes, I will agree with that assessment.
Yeah, I pay attention, you know.
You do.
But yeah, we'll have the gatherings, you know, and they're like, what should I get them? What should I get them? And invariably it's going to come around to me. It's like, oh, son, Brad is like, he always gives the best gifts. And it's always told with like a tone of aggravation.
I know. I feel your pain. I do. Really?
It's like, I never know what to get him, and he always gets the best gifts. And it's like, you sound angry about that. Okay, fine. I'll get you a T-shirt and a gift card. What the hell? And so, you know, I'm going through my retinue this week, and it's just like, you know, it's supposed to be a surprise, right? So Christmas morning, they open the gifts. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe you got me that. You know, it's always a good. Everybody seems intent on ruining that for me this year. So, you know, like here we've got. On our property, we had an Amazon hub where they usually make all the deliveries at.
Oh, that's nice.
You know, so the other day, and everybody's ordering stuff daily. So, you know, I come back with 2 and 3 packages sometimes. So the other day I come walking in with the boxes, just setting them down, and boom, the 7-year-old comes home from school. It's like, hey, what's going on? What's this? Hey, what is this all about? And I'm like, it's his present that just came in. It's tall. It's in the Amazon box, but he can't see what it is. And I'm like, Nothing, you know, like, doesn't bother you, okay? And I'm pushing them away, and I distract them talking about some movie we want to see. In the meantime, I take it and run into the laundry room and hide it in there. Cool. And then the wife comes in, puts her stuff down. First thing she does is go in the laundry room, and then she says, what's this box all about? I didn't order any toys. And then he's like, what toys? What are you talking? I'm sitting there like glaring at her, and I said, no, that's an empty box I put by the garbage. You know, and I'm like trying to deliver the message. She's like, well, I don't know. I just found a box here. And she's still yelling out loud.
I'm I'm dying.
So I was like, okay, fine, thanks. And then the next day I go out to the store and get a bunch of stuff for the kids, stocking stuffers and whatnot, and I come in and put the bags on the table, start doing something. Well, I didn't know the kids were home. So he comes bolting out. Hey, what do you got, Papa? What's this? Ooh, wow, baby shark. Because that's the 2-year-old loves baby shark.
Oh, yes.
So I found a floor puzzle for her, which is just perfect, And I'm like, dude, I didn't stop. And I'm pushing. I'm like turning to my right to push him away. Well, the 2-year-old bounds around my left side. What's that? I like that. I want that.
Looks like Papa needs to go shopping again.
And thankfully she's 2, and it's like I could distract her. You want a cucumber? You want milk? You want cookies? And get her over the way. And then I'm like throwing the bag in the bedroom before anything else happens. So I'm like, geez. Okay, but then Amazon decides to get in on the act as well now to screw me over.
Dang.
Because you've got numerous ways that, everything could go smoothly with Amazon. It usually does, right? So,
yeah.
All right, I got the big gift for her this year. I had it, picked out months ago what I'm going to do. It took a couple weeks doing a research, finding the right one. Boom, okay, figured it out. And I'm even like at the factory website to get this. She wants a brand new sewing machine. So I'm like researching, do I get one with 700 stitches programmed at high ranking spindles? No, she's not, going to work in the textile district. She doesn't need anything that good. So I got a great one. Perfect. And it's going to be shipped in like 2 to 3 weeks. I'm like, but what the hell is this all about? So I'm drawing a list. I go to Amazon. It's like, cool. Okay, found it there. The same one. It was even a little bit cheaper somehow. 3-day delivery. Boom. Hit it. Go. All right. Got it nailed out. I'm good. She comes home from work and opens the front door and says, oh my God, you got me a sewing machine. I'm like, what are you talking about? No. And I even went on Amazon, like hid the order. Took it off the site so she couldn't see it, right? Clear. So she's standing by the front door yelling, you got me a sewing machine? I'm like, what are you talking about? They delivered the thing on the doorstep in the factory box. They didn't even put it in an Amazon box.
Now, I have shopped, obviously. I shop a lot with Amazon. I'm a professional shopper. And I know that they have an option where, it tells you it's coming in the factory box. Would you rather have it in an Amazon box to hide it? Did you pick that option, or was that not available?
I didn't see that option, but here's the thing. They could have put it in the hub, and it would have been fine. They could have notified me when it got delivered, which they didn't do. And
that's all sorts of fail by Amazon. I'm sorry. It really is.
So I'm sitting and I come walking into the hallway. I go, what are you talking about? She's straddling the box and she's like, did you?
But she's very happy, I'm sure.
I'm not.
I know you.
I'm like ripping stockings off and throwing. I was like, screw it after all this. Next year I'm celebrating Kwanzaa. Forget it. It's like, son of a bitch, everybody's battling against me. I'm doing everything right, and I'm getting screwed out of this deal. So it's like, geez.
Oh, man. Oh, that's too bad. Although, weird shit like that has happened to me, too. I remember I had ordered something for my dad. He had wanted this back when, terabyte memories came out. When they first came out, that you can actually have a terabyte memory thingy or whatever. And he had wanted one. So I ordered one, and I ordered it through Amazon. And I said, this is a gift. I need this to be in a box, that kind of thing, and gift wrapped and everything. I clicked all of the stuff, and it still showed up at his house in the factory box. So he calls me up and says, I just got a box, and I have no idea who would send this to me, but it's really cool, and I'm excited because this is exactly what I wanted. I'm like, Dad, who did you tell this to? Well, you. It's like, well, then who else would have sent it to you?
Fairly obvious.
And he's like, well, I wasn't going to jump to conclusions because I do have other children. I'm like, but you hadn't told anybody else, so. And it's really funny because my father doesn't like to get any clothing. The only item of clothing that he accepted as a gift was a sweater that I gave him years ago because he wanted an Irish wool sweater. That's all he's ever wanted. It's the perfect weight for Texas winters. So that's all he wanted. And I said, oh my God, I'm totally going to get one of these. And I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. And sure enough, I found somebody that could, actually do it from Ireland. And I ordered that sucker in July, and no lie, it got here like December 15th. So, lucky for me, it got in here on time. But he doesn't like any clothing. So it's very difficult to gift my father anything. He loves techie gadgets. So my sisters and I and my brother, we all got together one year and we said, okay, from now on, we need to decide what we're going to give him, what kind of gift to give him from now on. And so one takes it upon herself to actually get tech gadgets. One, me, I give him books. Another one gives him booze. I think it's the middle sister gives him, his favorite rum. And then the youngest one actually, gives him like a gift card to one of his favorite shopping places. And then my brother gives him something else or other. But that's what, and that way he's happy. But we actually all came together and came to this agreement saying, this is all we get my dad. I'm in charge of just gifting him books. I'm not to step outside of that comfort zone. And then my other sister's like stepping outside of the hooch zone, that kind of thing. So my dad's always happy. My mom, she doesn't care. She's perfectly happy with new clothing, jewelry, gift cards, card. You could give her, a dead plant and she'll be happy because she has a super green thumb. So I swear to God, she's poison ivy. So she will let things grow and everything. But yeah, I kind of feel your pain because it happened with my dad.
Well, yeah, I'm probably hardly alone in that, but it's just like, aggravating when I'm getting everything lined up just correctly and I'm getting screwed left and right. I did see this though, and it's kind of show specific and everything else while in the midst of my shopping. And it still rather baffles me, but Keurig, the coffee machine company.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
They now have the Keurig cocktail station. Have you seen this?
I have, and I honestly thought I was hallucinating.
Wait, you need a machine to do your cocktail for you?
Okay.
No. The more I dug into this and started looking into it, it was like, no. This is no, you don't do this. And it's called the DrinkWorks Home Bar by Keurig. And it literally does have cocktail pods, like the coffee pods. So, when you're ready for whatever your choice of cocktail that you purchased by the box, you'll go to your machine, drop in the pod, hit a button, and it'll give you your cocktail, whatever amount of seconds. But the whole purpose of mixology is that you're crafting something for yourself. You're mixing your own drink. You're learning how to do this stuff.
Yeah. Not only that, but you're picking the alcohol you like.
Well, this is my first complaint. Yes, because whatever's in those pods, I guarantee you, is not going to be high grade alcohol. So, and it's got like everything in the pot. It's got the shot of alcohol, the mixer. But, if it's going to be juice or if it's going to be sour mix or something like that, it's going to be concentrated because it gets run through with the water from the system. I can't see these tasting as good as a natural cocktail.
Well, I've always had issues with a Keurig. I mean, I like the Keurig. I have an espresso and I use it every so often. It's actually really cool. And I really like, using it and everything. But like I said, it's very, it's not my everyday, day-to-day thing. And when I had the Keurig, my main complaint was, I'm for the same amount of time I could make a pot, and it was like, and then you're refilling the thing all the time. You can't let it get dry. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't. And it became a pain in the ass, especially if you're in a place where the water has such a high calcium content, so it's very calcified, and it's very hard water here. So for a Keurig, you cannot have hard water, so it had to be distilled water that you were using. And I'm like, okay, now it's getting it to be a little too, too much. This is ridiculous. I just want a pot of coffee. I'm not that picky. But seeing, a cocktail, something like that for cocktails, I'm like, well, what kind of alcohol do they use? And, it's already pre-mixed for you, but you're like, but I prefer, obviously, I'm in the minority here. I like my cocktails a little on the sweet side. So I would like to add more simple syrup to it or more juice or whatever. I prefer certain types of gin. I don't like dry gins. I like more aromatic gins. When it comes to bourbons, I prefer them to be, single batch or this or that, So I'd have issues with this thing. And I understand where they're going with this. They're trying to appeal to people who don't have a lot of time on their hands. But making a cocktail doesn't take that much. And as a matter of fact, it would take less stuff to make a cocktail than it does this thing, doesn't it?
Well, here's the issue: is that for starters, you're looking at $300 right out of the gate for the machine.
Get out! That's a pair of shoes.
I like how you said a pair.
It is a pair. Look, I'm not a vain woman, but when it comes to shoes, I tend to be a little bit. So, just a wee bit.
But the thing is, this is just the start. Okay, you get the machine. Now, when you first get the machine, you've got to spend a good hour or so preparing this, because it does a variety of things, I suppose, but it's going to, do water. It's also going to carbonate it. This thing comes with CO2 cartridges. It comes with water filters. And of course, if you're going to use different cocktails out of this thing, you have to do some cleaning. There's cleaning tablets you have to run through this system. And then you have to get the pods themselves, which don't come with the machine, because it's all based on liquor laws. You're buying actual liquor. So you got to find a place that sells the pods that you want.
Oh, God. Okay.
And then you have to get the machine set up. And then it has to be, chilled to the proper level when you're going to be using it, and making sure your CO2 is filled. And you're going through all of this effort for the purpose of hitting a button and getting a drink that's going to taste like ass, because you're not modulating anything. You're not controlling how much juice you're putting in, a double shot if you want or less. And I don't see a benefit to this whatsoever. I mean, if you have any appreciation of drinking cocktails, this is not the way to do it at all.
No, and I'm very old-fashioned, no pun intended. When it comes to cocktails, I'm very much when you're using a muddler, it has to be made of wood. You can't use a metal one. When there's some things that can be shaken and some things that must be stirred. That kind of thing. There are people have gone through decades of perfecting a system of crafting a cocktail, and now this machine breaks it down for you. But it really doesn't break it down for you. It actually makes more work for you. It's more high maintenance. And I'm like, all you have to do is buy yourself a shaker and a strainer and a muddler and a jigger, and you're good.
Yeah, I mean,
you're good to go.
Here's the thing: for that $300 plus. Now, understand too, the pods, once you get them, they're about $4 a piece. They average out to. So you're spending $4.
That's a pretty expensive drink.
for Yeah, for spirits that you don't know what the hell you're getting. Everybody has their own taste and what kind of brand of rum they like, or brand of whiskey, bourbon, that kind of thing. Whatever the hell's in the pot is what you're getting. You got no choice.
You make a point. Everybody's tastes are different. I know somebody who loves Texas brand whiskey. I know someone else who worships at the altar of Angel Envy. I particularly like Bullet, and I like other whiskeys, and the peater. For me, peat is just awesome whiskey. But for some people that turns them off. So I don't understand how this is going to, I just don't get it. Unless several companies actually decide to actually market the pots themselves too, which is a possibility, I guess.
But even so, take the money and, like you were saying, get a good cocktail set. You want a stainless steel shaker, you want the muddler, you want a jigger. I've got a great one. It's metal with a rubber at the neck. You can flip it. It's got, even novices have all the measurements etched inside the jigger. I've got a box of 24 pouring spouts that come with caps. So, I can just sit there and pour to my heart's content, measure it out, maybe get a strainer. And, if you're going to build a bar, or you can even get like a rolling bar station like I got for what, $150, $200, you could have a bar for the same cost. And then you can stock it with your quality, with what you want. Variety of glassware, you name it. You could take that $300 and invest it much better for much better cocktails.
Yeah, that blows my mind. I just, anybody listening out there that even cares remotely about what to get Aggie for Christmas, this is not it. I'm just going to put it out there.
That would be one of those moments where it's like, wow, that's so thoughtful. Do you still have the receipt?
Receipt. Exactly. Oh man, I cannot conceive of that. I couldn't do it. No. I just couldn't. And I am sure if my sister showed up and actually gifted that to me, I'd be like, this is so awesome. Thank you. And I'd be obliged to set it up, and I'd be obliged to actually use it whenever she was over, but it would not be something that I would use day to day. I just couldn't do it. I prefer to do my own. And I'm just, like I said, it's not a bad thing to be old fashioned about certain things. And this is definitely one of them,
I think, I think you'd be much happier if you just get some of the bar tools, get some glassware, get some heavy rocks glasses, get some Tom Collins glasses, get some damn tiki mugs. That's a requirement, of course, and some stemware.
That is a requirement for the show. It's always a requirement.
And of course, martini glasses. But you can do all this for so much cheaper, and you could just make so much better and live so much better. So yeah, hitting a button for a cocktail, fantastic, Mr. Jetson. Okay.
Yeah, unless it's a hologram. Hologram bar. No, I don't. I'll pass.
But this is the holidays. We want to, spread some cheer and give you some positive stuff too, because as I said, we got our trip coming up this weekend. I'm usually tasked with bringing pudding shots. That's become something of I've become known for. And usually when the trip is approaching, like on Saturday, they're like, "So, Brad, what kind of pudding shots are you bringing?" Not are you going to, but it was assumed I'm going to. So, what I'm going to do, I think, since it's Orlando, I'm going to make some butterbeer pudding shots.
Ooh, nice.
The nice last few trips, we've decided on the same hotel. We just finally kind of hit the same location. So it's 10 stories or something, but it's got an outdoor courtyard area, and they have an actual tiki bar on the property near the pool. And, a couple of years ago, I made these pudding shots up, and because it was right around the time they opened up the Harry Potter ride. So it's like, what the hell, let's go with a theme. Well, these things came out so good, they didn't last past Saturday afternoon, really. And, we go to check in. We were hanging out at the bar. It's not open yet, so we're just sitting out there. And the barmaid comes up. She's starting to set up for, they have like a 5 o'clock happy hour. All the guests can drink free for an hour. So she's setting up. And, we're just like we are. We just start talking with her and everybody else. And I'm throwing the shots to the family. And she's like, what are those? And I was like, here, you got to try one. A pudding shot. And she's like, I don't know. She, had to talk her into it. Well, 2 minutes later, she comes back wide-eyed. That was so awesome. Here, have another one. No problem. So, we do happy hour. We go out to dinner, come back about 9 to hang out at the bar area with everybody. And you got to pay for drinks at this point. And I come up and, let me get a rum and Coke and a beer. And she's like, you don't have any more of those shots, do you? I was like, well, yeah, they're probably up in my room. I can go get a few. So instead of buying drinks, I was just trading pudding shots for cocktails all night with her. But these things are really good. So if anybody's unfamiliar with the pudding shot, I figure I might go through the process and then we can maybe put the recipe up later on your account.
That would be fine. As always, recipes on my cocktail account are always welcome.
Okay, then. Well, there's no hard and fast. This is something you get creative about. Like one time I came across Mounds Bar pudding. It was chocolate pudding and coconut.
Ooh.
So
I think I just melted a little.
So I made that with some coconut rum and a little bit of vanilla rum, just, to boost it. Man, those came out phenomenal. A friend of mine made a batch once. I think it was with, I forget, I think it might have been butterscotch pudding with Fireball whiskey.
I know you told me about the butterscotch, but not the Fireball.
Well, the thing is...
And this was years ago.
Yeah, and she's handed it, and I'm devouring these things. They were so good. And she told me Fireball is in it. I was like, wait a second. I didn't taste any cinnamon at all. But the way it mixed with the pudding, the flavor just came out phenomenal. Ooh. So yeah, I've been doing experiments with this. I did for St. Patrick's Day one year, I did shamrock shake. So I did pistachio pudding with what did I use? I think it was a whipped cream vodka, and then I added like half an ounce of Rumblemans. And it didn't really give it a big minty flavor, just like enough of that little bite. Uh-huh. Those came out phenomenal. But for the butterbeer, what I do is I go with vanilla pudding base, and I add a shot of butterscotch schnapps and vanilla rum. And then in the process, I also add a couple teaspoons of actual butter. And then
okay, for the butter flavor. Oh, can you substitute like butter extract?
No, I just use straight up butter. I just melt it, pour it in.
Okay.
And then, just maybe a dollop of whipped cream before you cap it and then freeze them. So, the thing is, get creative. See what kind of flavors of pudding you got, and then think about what kind of flavored liqueur you want to mix with them. You're going to have all kinds of damn fun, though. And people are going to say, ooh, really? And they'll eat it, and they're going to come back for 4.
Right.
So here's the base.
I'd be like taking like a few of them and putting them all in a bowl and just going from there.
I did that one year. I made red, white, and blue flavored. I had a strawberry, blueberry, I think it was, and white chocolate. And I lined them up in a row. Go America.
That's perfect. That is perfect. I gotta remember that for this coming summer.
I think maybe it might have been blue Jello. Is what it was, because not really a blue pudding to be found. But I actually saw a couple months ago. We made it. There was not Johnny? It was Sonic. They have a brand of pudding out, and they make a root beer pudding. So definitely gonna nab one of those. Yep. Sarsaparilla. So what you're gonna do? It's a little bit of a modified recipe, but it's really easy. You're going to get the instant pudding, mm-hmm. and the recipe normally calls for 2 cups of milk. What you're going to do is back that down to 1.5 cups, and then it's half a cup of your choice of liquor. And you can modulate that too, because, let's say if you're using Malibu rum, that's only 25% alcohol or so. So you can maybe use a little bit more of that. Or a lot of times I go half and half. It'll be like Malibu and a, regular octane vodka or something like that, just to boost it.
I have a question. Is it instant pudding or is it regular pudding? The cooked?
No, it's the instant, because you don't want to cook off the alcohol.
That's okay. That was my concern. Go on.
So that's your base. You're going to mix that first. The milk, the pudding, add the alcohol, get that blended up well. Then you also have to then add a full tub of Cool Whip topping, because the alcohol,
the 8 ounce or the 12 ounce, the big or the little.
I didn't even know there were two sizes.
There are two sizes.
No, just the standard, the regular size. You don't have to go extra large.
Okay, all right, fine.
But this you have to add to the mix, because that helps the pudding set with the alcohol.
Yeah.
So, and you're just, you're going to get everything blended up as well as possible, and then you pour them off. I like to use 3 ounce cups. It's almost like a shooter size. If you can find the caps for them, is kind of the secret, because I travel with them. They're in the freezer, in a freezer bag. You don't want them open and spilling around everywhere. So
I'm not sure, but I think Container Store carries them sometimes, because I saw them in the box with the caps as well. So
yeah, my sister-in-law's in the restaurant business, and she goes to like a supply store on a monthly basis, and I'll just put an order in with her. I was like, hey, can you give me the 3 ounce with the lids? And then she comes with a massive sleeve of them. So
okay, that's perfect.
Those work better, but if you only have the the standard sauce cups, you can do that too. Store's a little better too, but still. So yeah, you get everything blended up, and you're going to pour them off in the cups. You got to freeze it, and depending on what kind of alcohol, how strong it is, your consistency is going to vary a little bit. So sometimes it might have a little bit more thinner consistency than actual pudding, or it's going to set up and be more like a mousse, almost flaky. It's not, you're not really going to get that true pudding consistency. And a lot of times because of the whipped cream helps the alcohol set up correctly, but it's streaming.
Duly noted. Okay, cool. I will be definitely making some of these during Christmas. I'm traveling home. Obviously, I have to take the coquito, right? And the ducks. Let's not forget the ducks. So, but that's something that I'm sure my sisters and I could definitely make while we're there and enjoy. I don't think it's going to be 3 ounces, though. I think it's going to be bigger.
Well, if need be. But yeah, there's been times I've been in the grocery store and I'm sitting in front of the pudding shelf and I'm, getting stares myself. It's like, are you confused by something? Like, no, I'm thinking, I'm concocting ideas here. So I'm seeing what flavors they've got and what I can do with those flavors. Like, hey. Like every so often I actually find a coconut pudding. It's like, whoa, okay then. And some.
You gotta snag it.
Got to do that with some, either pineapple vodka, or if I can find a pineapple rum. I think Cruzan makes one, but I'm not fond of Cruzan because that's another.
Yeah, they're kind of iffy, but they do make a pineapple rum. But you can actually just do your own. Get some, even with canned pineapple, or just pineapple that's already been prepared in the store. How they sell it in rings in the deli section or whatever. Just take that and pour the rum directly into it. And that way you can infuse your own rum with pineapple. It has to be Cristal. You cannot do this with dark rum. It does. The flavor comes out kind of weird. It has to be the light rum. But yeah, you can infuse your own.
And then, here's the only issue though with that. Because pineapple has a very unique enzyme. For the longest time, that's why they never had pineapple pudding, because it doesn't set with that enzyme. So you might have to go with the flavored spirit. But again, experiment. What's the worst that can happen? So you got a soupy pudding with pineapple in it. It's still going to taste the same. It's just
Still
not
going to be good.
Yeah.
So
But I
good.
think that's something to bear in mind. I know pineapple is a challenge when it comes to stuff like that. So
I don't find it challenging. I just add vodka to pineapple juice and I'm good. So
yeah, I
there you
can't go
go.
wrong. Just, if it comes out, damn it, Brad, this thing never set up. It's like, not my fault. You use pineapple, but
You just drink it. Drink it. It's fine. It's
yes, absolutely.
as a
So what
matter of fact,
about you? What is your cocktail for the season that you have in mind?
well, like I said, when my sisters and I get together, it's all giggly and it's all we're back to being, teenagers at home again. And but teenagers with a, better palate when it comes to booze because Lord knows we have learned since we were young how to drink the good stuff. So, but one year one of the things that we do Christmas morning, I always make mimosas. It's something
Mhm.
that my mom has always enjoyed. So every Christmas that I'm at my parents', I have the orange juice ready, I have the champagne, I have the triple sec, I have everything ready to go. Well, one year, I totally forgot the I completely forgot to get the stuff for it. All I had was the champagne. Actually, it was cava. So my dad had cranberry juice in there, and I had brought some vanilla flavored vodka with me. And I said, you know what? I wonder if we can do this. And so I experimented, and I did a shot of the vodka and 2 shots of the cranberry juice, and then topped it all off with the cava, and it was fantastic. It was so good. My
Huh.
sisters were like, "Can I have another? Can I have another? Can I have another?" So we went through 3 bottles of the 3 bottles of champagne that I brought was gone. I think we had a third of the vodka bottle left. And my dad was pissed because he couldn't get any more cranberry juice because everything was closed.
Well,
So that has become our Christmas morning drink, and it's a variation on a mimosa, but instead of using triple sec and using orange juice, we use cranberry juice and vodka, either vanilla or that whipped cream. Either one goes well with the cranberry. So, or even plain if you just have plain vodka, it goes really well. And it's not because the cranberry is tart. The cranberry juice is tart. It's not very sweet. So
mhm.
it's really very refreshing in the morning. It's really good. So that's our accidental tradition.
How about that? Well
Yeah,
done.
it was. And see, and this is another thing. This is why you don't really need that contraption from Keurig. This was completely an accident. This was stuff that was there. And I just decided, hey, I wonder if this would go with that and go with the other thing. And sure enough, it did. And it has become our thing, so.
Definitely. No, I that's the whole thing too. It's like I go to someone's house and they're just like, I don't make me something. That's all my stuff over there. What do you think? And I'm like, okay, formulating, and I'm like Zach Galifianakis with the numbers floating around my head for a moment. I'm like, let's see.
I love that gift.
It's like, don't you have a Keurig? Can I hit a button? Screw that. That's
No, 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 no. I have actually converted my the middle sister, number 3. There's 5 of us in 5 kids in the family, and number 3, she's the one that lives out in DC, and she used to just do the one shot, rum and coke or Jack and Coke or whatever. And I've actually told her, I said, I would gift her the Lolita glasses a long time ago. I said, they all have recipes on the bottom. And she was like, really? Do any of those really work? And I was like, well, you won't know until you try. And now she's like, my goodness, I have missed out on making cocktails for such a long time. I actually gave her a cocktail book, and she's all like, yay, this is so cool. I get to make my own cocktail. So again, you don't need that contraption to make a cocktail. You just need basic tools, and that's it.
Exactly. Yeah. Save $300, drop like 50 or so on some decent bar equipment. It's not that expensive if you
And
shop
the other
around.
250 on a pair of shoes for your lovely, and that's fine. Just saying.
I was going to say maybe on the spirit selection, but okay.
Oh, okay, or building your bar. Either's good. Either's good. That's fine. But yeah, so anyway, so in other news, we had some sad news to report today. The ever wonderful, ever great General Chuck Yeager passed away last night, and he left such an inspiring legacy. I just, my dad worked for NASA for a time, and so Chuck Yeager, for him, he's one of his heroes. And when my dad found out, he actually called me this morning, and he was like, man, I can't believe that he's passed away. And I'm going, Dad, he's not that much older than you were. My dad's still in that hole. I'm still 60.
Right.
Everybody else is old. I'm still 60, so, but, my dad was actually recounting some of the things that Yeager did. A lot of people don't know that when he broke the sound barrier, the government kept it quiet for some time. They did not disclose that because it was considered a national security thing.
Oh yeah,
so
it's definitely classified.
It was. So that was kind of big and everything. But this was a man of very humble beginnings, and he achieved greatness. And he is the poster child for picking yourself up by your bootstraps. I mean, he literally did that. So it was really sad to find out that he had passed away. No, nobody lives forever, but there are a few people that I wish would, and he was one of them.
Oh no, he qualifies as a true hero. I mean, he's just a test pilot for the military is all you need to know. And he was doing that in an era when things were far less known than they are today. So yeah, like breaking the sound barrier.
Oh, I wasn't aware until I watched the movie that Yeager had been hurt and had broken his ribs and had them taped before that specific flight. And I was like, I was agog that he was actually that hurt and he could not actually latch the carpet correctly. So they fashioned like a broom handle to help him so that he could latch it from the inside. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. I'm watching this I'm going, nah, they had to have made that up. They had to have made that up in the movie. And no, that's actually what happened. He was actually hurt. And it was so bad that he could not latch it from the inside and had to actually have some kind of like a broom handle or something to help him latch. And I'm going, and he still flew and he still broke the sound barrier. And I'm like, oh my God, this man is epic. Yeah,
when you're going to break the sound barrier, it might be important to fasten the canopy correctly. Just, I'm not a military expert by any stretch, but I'm just saying that's kind of remarkable right there.
Yeah, it was, he inspired a lot of people, my dad included. And another great man that was inspired by him was none other than Colonel Dick Scobie, who was the commander of the Space Shuttle Challenger. I know several of my friends that actually graduated from A&M that were inspired by Chuck Yeager, and they went into aeronautics later on. So, he actually inspired a lot of people from all walks of life. And it was really sad to find out that he had passed away.
It is. He's just like the early astronauts. He spearheaded NASA for the most part because what he was doing both led to the technology for NASA spaceflight, but also that's where they cobbled all of the astronauts from initially too, was from test pilot ranks.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They did. That was
And you're
the
going
people
into
that were
space,
not
you're
afraid.
doing the same kind of thing. You're going into literal uncharted areas. Nobody knew what would happen with certain, they didn't know what would happen when you break the sound barrier, and
That's true. Actually, I'll take that
so,
back. They were not unafraid. They were afraid. They just didn't let that fear stop them. And I think that's what makes for a great person.
yeah, bravery is not the absence of fear, but the conquer of it. So that's what these guys have to do. And they're amazing. It's amazing character that they could do it. So, yeah, definitely, it's definitely a shot in the gut to see someone like that passing. But to close the show, why don't we do something a little more upbeat, a little more happy? Speaking of American heroes, this Sunday on the Lifetime channel, you can watch. I'll
Sorry.
wait.
I was squealing. Okay, I'm contained. All right, I'm all right.
Are you now? Because it seems like.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to take a moment here, don't you?
Okay, I'm all right. Go on.
On Lifetime at 12 noon on Sunday is the story, the romantic adventures of Harlan Sanders.
Yes,
Who
Colonel Sanders.
Who you probably know as a colonel. I'll wait.
Okay, I'm okay. Okay, I'm all right.
Are you really? Because
No, not really. But go
sounds like
ahead.
you're pain almost, or
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm just excited because this is, y'all, okay. First of all, I do watch Christmas movies and I enjoyed all of them, but most of them have the same plot. It's the same chick. It's the same play. It's the same guy. It's the same everything. But this one is taking somebody from, an historical perspective and actually putting him in a Hallmark movie or actually a Lifetime movie. So this is, for me, it's great.
mm-hmm. And I could take it one step better because we have to take a look at who is playing Colonel Sanders, and that would be Mario Lopez. For some reason.
Okay, first of all, I think this is a case of cultural appropriation, but we won't go in there because, hey, whatever. But this is, I think it's fantastic. I think it's going to be very much hammy, and it's going to be fun, and it's going to be, I think it's going to be fun. It's actually going to make people tune in simply out of curiosity. It's going to make people tune in because they're fans of Mario Lopez. And they're going to they might tune in because they're fans of KFC. Who knows?
I'll probably fall into the latter category. Just saying, that's just me. I love KFC. I'm not gonna. Doesn't feel like something I need to apologize about, but apparently sometimes I do. But yeah, Mario Lopez is playing Colonel Sanders for some reason, and the name of this production is A Recipe for Seduction.
God, I am dying. You cannot possibly know how excited I am about this whole thing.
Yeah, this is now the real reason that Lopez is doing this is he's actually appearing in another Lifetime movie. Lifetime is basically trying to co-opt the Hallmark Channel's Christmas slate by doing their own.
Yeah, I have an interesting. I've actually. I can't even talk right now, but go on. I'm thinking later.
Really, that worked up about this.
No, the thing is, I was looking at the roster for the Lifetime movies, and I did notice that one of the things that Lifetime has taken it upon itself to do is carve into a niche that Hallmark cannot walk into. And some of the Hallmark Christmas romance movies are actually same-sex based. So that for them is going to be big because they're catering to an audience that Hallmark does not. And that was one of the things that I did notice, because I was, I went down that rabbit hole wanting to know more about this, recipe for seduction thing. And that's how I came across all of these. So, and they sound pretty, wholesome, actually, in a way. So that is a niche that, like I said, Hallmark is very shy about doing, simply because they even censor themselves whenever they play psych episodes or monk episodes, and the words bitch or hell or damn are uttered. They're actually censored. So, I don't think they'll ever have a same-sex type of thing going on at Hallmark channels. Mm-hmm. So that's a side, but No,
but it's apparently there's room for this, because every single year I just watch Hallmark get bigger and bigger and bigger. They're to the point now where they do these movies starting in October.
I was pissed about that, because
on 3 different channels, no less.
They said starting October 23rd. I said, you cannot possibly be serious. It wasn't even Halloween. Mm-hmm. I was so mad, because I watch Murder, She Wrote at 10 o'clock each night before I go to bed. That is my thing. And they were taking it away from me too early. I was mad.
Oh, so there it is. Okay.
Yes, that's why I got mad.
Here, I thought you were like being some kind of strict holiday nonconformist. No, okay.
No, I am.
They're stepping on Jessica Fletcher's
Yeah, I would have preferred, I think it was 3 years ago, they started right after Thanksgiving, and I would have been fine with that. But then last year, they started before our birthdays. I think it was before your birthday, before November, before mid-November that they started. And I was like, well, that's a little early. And then this year, October 23rd, next thing you know, it'll be, why don't they just start a new channel and call it Hallmark Christmas and do it year round? It'd be so much easier.
They're getting close to that. I know for a fact they do, because it plays here in this household. In July, they do, I think, a week of the movies, or at least a weekend.
It was 2 weeks. I know, because I was there for that.
I blocked it out. So, there you go.
I know. It was a nightmare for you. I know it's blocked out of your mind. So, anyway.
But the Colonel Sanders Lifetime original mini movie is what they're calling this. They refer to this as branded custom mid-form content, which is basically Hollywood speak for KFC gave us a crap ton of money to play this movie for 15 minutes.
Hey, whatever works. This is what I call hellacious marketing. This is gonna work.
Last week we were talking about KFC having a fireplace log that smells like 11 herbs and spices. So they're branching out all over the place. And you got to see this kind of stuff. If you go to Red State, pull up my author page. Right at the top of the website, you'll see where it says authors. I'm the 4th picture. Click on it. You'll see Mario Lopez right there, dressed as Colonel Sanders. Numerous people have said they mistook him for Eugene Levy. As soon as they said that, I cracked up, because it was, yeah. And but I do encourage you to go there and check it out on my page, because I do even have the trailer for this, and it is something to behold. I don't like to throw the term train wreck around loosely, but
listen. One guy's train wreck is another woman's gloriousness, okay?
Don't get me wrong. There ain't no way I'm missing this.
No. We are experts on train wreck, so we will be watching.
Mm-hmm. I'm catching this. But this is what cracked me up, because, this is what I do, is research into my work, because I care so much about my product. A couple of years ago, they actually had a Harlequin romance that they released. Tender Wings of Desire. and it
I'm
had
agog.
Colonel Sanders on the cover with the sleeves torn off of his white jacket with bulging biceps.
How did I miss this? I read trashy novels for fun. How did I miss out on this?
So,
oh my God.
I believe they're tapping into that very same vein here.
I guess so. I guess so. That's pretty epic. I honestly, I cannot wait until this movie premieres. I am there for this. I am there for this.
So yeah, your Sunday is occupied. That's clear. We're
Yes, yes.
and I encourage everybody else to do the same. Not that I have to, because let's face it, you all are going to go watch this thing, and you know you are.
Oh my goodness. We have rambled on so much, but we still have other stuff to talk about. And I don't think that there's going to be a Rick and Jen show tonight. So did you want to keep going, or do you want to cut it, or what?
I think that's really more up to our esteemed producer, if she can tolerate us any longer.
I don't know. But, I wanted to talk about the whole Church in England situation, not Church of England, people. That's totally different. Mm-hmm. It came to my attention last week that there is a tequila bar in England that has petitioned to change its status to a church. Now, the reason for this being that COVID has shut down a lot of the drinking establishments in England, and this guy is like about to go underwater, but he noticed that churches are kind of exempt. So 400 Rabbits Tequila Bar has decided to actually petition to become a church. And this way they can avoid being shut down, still serve tequila, and just take donations, which I think is a fabulous idea. And I think every single bar around here should do the same, regardless of shutdown.
Oh yeah, we I think we talked about this last week, where there are a couple of establishments coming up with creative ways. The one that deemed itself an autonomous zone. Now those, I did hear that I think they arrested one of the owners, if I'm not mistaken. But
I think so.
It's it's sad that it's come to this crap. I mean, I just wrote about it today too, and it's the kind of stuff that just makes me want to go full torch and pitchforks. Where that one restaurant owner in California was being closed down. She had already modified by creating outdoor dining per the regulations. She had huge tents, picnic tables and stuff.
She actually went out of her way to accommodate the restrictions.
And then they turned around and said, no, that's it. You can't have anybody. They shut her down. All other businesses too, not just her. But the thing that was so enraging is that in the same parking lot as her restaurant, there was like 8 massive tents set up for a Hollywood production. And this was going to be their catering tents for the cast and crew. One of the tents literally was like 20 to 25 feet away from hers. And she pointed out, she's like, this is deemed unsafe. That one's deemed perfectly fine and acceptable. And they had been licensed and permitted from the city of Los Angeles to set those up while shutting this woman down right next to her, but right beside them. And that's the kind of crap
that very picky virus. Very picky. Yeah. I mean, it knows it's the, lines of demarcation. It knows time, because at 10 o'clock, it can go, it can actually attack people in a bar. So it's a very smart virus.
And it's one I had to laugh today too, because there was the story, it was Akron, Ohio, where there were people protesting outside the city government, the homes of the city workers, people on the council, because they were shutting them down in mask ordinances. So they were protesting, and somebody said, I don't know what these people are so mad about. They're protesting. The virus isn't going to affect them now. It's a hell of a point you got there. Can't argue with that, though.
This is true. And the thing is, so it has gotten so ridiculous. We have Bill de Blasio actually telling people not to travel, not to go to relatives' homes, to stay home during the holidays and all that stuff. Basically, I told him to just fuck off because that's not happening. My dad is 89 years old, and he's like, I've lived a good life. Come home for Christmas. I don't care if I get sick.
Mm-hmm.
And it has, a lot of people are just up in arms about some of the politicians actually telling you to stay home and not socialize with anybody. And this was something that I have observed, and it's actually the last great step in the progressiveness of the politics. And I've just, I'm in awe that so many people have just actually accepted it. And I don't recall ever quarantining the healthy and letting the sick go free. I don't remember that ever happening. I'm only 54, but I remember, SARS, and I remember H1N1, I remember swine flu, I remember all of that stuff, and I don't remember the healthy being quarantined. And this is exactly what happened this year, and I think it was just a power play. That's all it was. It's complete horseshit. It
strictly is. I mean, last week I did a story where I was, all I was doing was listening to politicians that were violating their own restrictions. Figured I might have half a dozen or 8 or so. I got up to 14 and posted my story in the afternoon. By that evening, I had found 3 brand new ones. And I think there's been a 4th and a 5th since then. And
my word.
So it's complete horse shit. This isn't about safety because these people don't even care about their own safety when they go out. So that should tell you everything right there.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, this has actually been, in my opinion, from what I have seen. And as you know, I was trained in anthropology. I was trained to watch people. I was trained to watch societies develop and all that stuff. And it has been something that I have watched for decades. They first started out by destroying the traditional gender roles. The mom at home, the dad at work type of thing. That they forced to where, it's okay for the dad not to work. It's good for the mom to go out to work and all that stuff. And then they destroyed the nuclear family. The single parent can do it all. Marriage isn't necessary to have a family, that kind of thing. And then once they destroyed that, then they destroyed the personal responsibility mantra that you had built into yourself as you were raised. It's society's fault that I can't work or raise my kids. Everything is racist and sexist, et cetera. So now in my opinion, we're at the final push, destroying that socializing norms so that people can depend on the government and not on each other. That's why it's so necessary for them to isolate people. And I think that's what they realized with this virus, that they could do that. They wanted to test whether or not they could. And that's pretty much my opinion. I mean, from years of watching how society develop and move forward. And sad to say, we're not really moving forward. As much as they like to say, oh, we are moving forward, I don't think so. It's more sideways right now before we take a step back. But that's just me. That's my opinion. But when you think about it, that's pretty much how it has been going. They have destroyed these traditional norms of our society that have, and I stress traditional, because they are rooted on Judeo-Christian principles as the country was founded. And it has, once you destroy one pillar, you can move to the next, and then you can move to the next one until everything is on a bed of sand and it just erodes from under you. Wow. This is what happens when Liesl drinks. See, and I outed myself yet again.
Well, you kind of bringing me down here a little bit.
I'm sorry.
So let me return the favor and bring you down now. They're altering the dictionary on behalf of Joe Biden. Because there it is. Because
Oh my God. Okay.
the concept that Joe Biden as president might start packing the Supreme Court with brand new seats that don't previously exist in order to get a manufactured Democrat majority on the on the benches. Dictionary.com has come out in his defense by redefining the term court packing, it turns out. So their original entry only mentioned FDR, who had the desire to do so way back in the 40s, and it never came to fruition. It was a vastly unpopular idea.
It was declared unconstitutional, I believe. He wanted to put 9 judges in there so that his stuff would be passed more easily.
So what dictionary.com has done is come up with another extensive definition where they say that court packing constitutes adding more seats to a particular or changing the construct of it, which is the major change here. So what they're saying now is if, let's say, a Republican president has a seat open up and replaces a liberal justice with a conservative justice, that can fit now under the definition of court packing. Bullcrap. That is
no.
Not the case. You are filling a vacated seat. You're not creating new seats in order to generate an artificial majority, which is what court packing actually is. And in their defense, like, people started rising up, and when they found this out, like, dictionary.com didn't make the announcement. They just changed it kind of like on the sly, and somebody noticed it, and they went to the Wayback Machine to find the previous entry, like from November 1st, and compared it with the current one and saw what they added, and they were like, yeah, that's brand new and also completely inaccurate. Dictionary.com comes out and it's like, hey, the language always evolves, and we're just evolving with it.
Bull and shit. I am incensed. I am sorry. Okay, you're getting uncensored, Aggie people, and I'm just letting you know this place is explicit. I'm just letting you know right now.
Brad steps away from the microphone for the next few moments.
This is a bunch of fuck, because this is not the way language evolves. Any linguist will tell you, any anthropologist, any fucking hell, even those useless, worthless people in sociology will tell you language does not evolve from 1 month to the next. It doesn't happen that way. Language takes centuries to evolve, okay? Literally, it is a cyclical evolution of about 500 years. Yes, you may add new words, but you don't change the words from 1 month to the next. It doesn't happen that way. And when I saw that, let me tell you, my field of vision became red. I was hot under the collar, and I threw something against the wall. I was not a happy camper. I was mad because they're literally taking something that is rooted in centuries of study and erasing all of that to fit an agenda. That is wrong. This is completely wrong. And I urge you guys to just go to Oxford Dictionary from now on. They're liberal, but at least they're kind of fair about how they define words. Forget dictionary.com. They're useless bags of shit. Okay, I'm done. I think I'm done. Okay.
Are we done? Or did you?
I think so.
Okay. Because I didn't care for the language you used as you were describing the changes to our language.
Shut up.
No, I still maintain you are the most. You still stand as the most charming vulgarian I've ever heard.
It takes a lot to get me to cuss. As a matter of fact, you're like, I wasn't cussing in Spanish. And that takes a lot because I don't do that. I don't even think of cussing in Spanish.
You realize I just brought up the dictionary and you exploded. So
I did.
I might challenge that.
I've never been a fan of dictionary.com. It has been my experience that they tend to just add things that really don't make any sense to me when they're defining words. And so, but I've always left it alone because I figured, well, it may be a layman's dictionary or, like the equivalent of Wikipedia for, information. So, but when they actually said that language evolves and so do we, I was livid. I was extremely livid because what they did, that was not evolution of language. That was literally changing the definition of that phrase. And they were doing it to fit an agenda. That's not their job. Their job is just to tell you what a word means. That's it. So I'm just not happy. Okay, I'm done. I'm done again.
Damn, Aggies and Fuego tonight.
I was just not happy to see that. And, prior to the show starting, Brad actually told me about that, and I pretty much freaked out.
At which point Brad decided this has to be in the show tonight.
This was a little bit more tame of how I actually was reacting. I happen to take anthropology very seriously, even though it's what I consider the soft science. It's not defined by actual, the Socratic method or anything like that. I still take it very seriously because it is the study of humanity and how cultures evolve within themselves and with each other. And so it's something that I have taken it upon myself to watch throughout the years. I've been doing this for over 30 years. It has been fun. It has been kind of shocking sometimes. How some societies have literally devolved in certain ways. But to see something like dictionary.com that is supposed to be they're just supposed to supply definitions of words. They're not supposed to actually take sides. They're not supposed to have any kind of political agenda. They're not supposed to have a religious agenda. They're not supposed to have a social agenda at all. It's just the definition of a word. And take that out of context and actually provide a different context. For me, it's beyond egregious. It really is. And this is what Orwell really warned us about. And Orwell was by no means some kind of right-wing extremist. He wasn't a conservative. He wasn't a Republican or anything like that. But he saw the dangers of what Marxism can do. And this is a prime example of it. I'm really going to need another shot of vodka, aren't I?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because I will make you proud, though. I did respond to dictionary.com to their, we're evolving. And I was like, how very Orwellian of you.
See, there you go.
Pretty sure they're going to end up striking that definition from their book soon.
Yes, they are.
All right. Well, that kind of burns out, I think, all of our topics here. And I think just for Aggie's mental health, we should probably wrap things up.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, we've gone way over our time. But anyway, so Brad, where can we find you as I collect myself?
Okay. Well, you can find my writings at Red State, at Town Hall, at Twitchy, and you can hear me every Thursday evening, 8 p.m. here. This week, we have Disasters in the Making, our bad movie show, where Paul and I are going to start mining the depths of Hollywood for some holiday non-cheer to deliver. And if you need more than that, head over to Twitter. You can find me at Martini Shark. Aggie, where are all of the outlets we can find your loveliness?
Well, you can find me Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern right here on the Cocktail Lounge with my wonderful co-host, Brad. And you can find me Friday nights at 8:30 Eastern with my other co-host, Mickey Blowtorch, doing He Said, She Said every Friday night. And You can find me on Twitter at Aggie Rican or at Aggie the Barkeep, where I do most of my cocktailing. Thank you all so much for sticking around with us, and we hope you have a lovely evening. I'm going to go get a shot of vodka Thorazine now.
I'm going to recommend an IV drip.
I think so. Good night, everybody.